Let's bring in our experts, meteorologist Amber Lee here to tell us more about this.
All right, so we had the full moon. It was a super moon. So with that gravitational pull, it's causing the bigger than normal tides here in Southern California. So that's why we have a high surf advisory and the coastal flood advisory and beach hazard statements at least until later today. And then we're probably going to see those higher than normal tides again, as we just talked about this morning, or Kalyna just talked about. And then we're going to continue to see the higher than normal tides, but it won't be quite as bad as we head into the weekend. And then it just slowly starts to go back to normal. But here's a quick look at what's happening. So if you plan on heading to the coast today, just know that we're talking about bigger than normal waves. A lot of places we have chest to overhead heights, and then we are also looking at elevated surf for the Orange County area as well. All right, so here's a look at what's happening. We're going to continue to dry out here in Southern California. It's really quiet. We do have a few patchy low clouds and fog this morning. A lot of that should clear later on, and then we're making way for plenty of sunshine. And look at these offshore winds, typical fashion coming in from the mountains and the deserts, blowing toward the ocean. This will continue to dry us out, and that's why our temperatures will be warmer. And don't be surprised if you see temperatures warmer along the coast or even some of our metro areas compared to some of our inland conditions. That's what happens with these offshore winds, but we don't have any advisories to talk about, so that's great news. Okay, so let's talk about what's going to happen for the rest of the weekend with these offshore winds. So we're going to continue to see periods of these offshore winds on again, off again, all under advisory levels, but it will warm us up, dry us out, so temperatures will get hotter and hotter. Hottest days of the next few days, Sunday and Monday, and then once we get past Monday, we start the cool down, and we're talking about increased rain chances. So there's a mix of everything coming up in the next 7 days here in Southern California. I want to show you, we do have patchy low clouds and fog, so visibility starting to get really bad, especially in the Burbank and also in the city of Chino area. You can see visibility down to less than a mile. We're down to a mile for Oxnard. So it all depends on where you live here in Southern California. You may encounter some dense fog and you may not, but we're definitely looking at some patchy low clouds and fog, but it should start to clear as we head into the rest of the morning. So by 10 o'clock this morning, a lot of our inland communities clearing out, more sunshine. We'll see a few clouds lingering near the coast, and then we should start to see the clouds push back in overnight, but it won't be quite as bad, and it'll become a little bit more shallow as we head into this upcoming weekend. So here's a quick look at what it feels like with the clouds overhead. 60 degrees for the Malibu area, 62 for Santa Ana, 55 for Corona. All right, I do want to show you what we're dealing with, especially because reports have indicated that we continue to see a La Nina pattern. So I want to show you at the equatorial waters where you see the blue. That means the cooler waters. And then what you're seeing in red is the warmer ocean water. So this is going to push that jet stream farther up north, and that's going to keep all that rain to the north of us. And so this is why we're looking at a La Nina pattern. However, we do have a chance for rain once we're headed into the next few days here in Southern California. So that's great news. But that also means that it could be a drier weather pattern for us. But remember, a couple years ago, we had that La Nina pattern, and that gave us an abundance of rain. So maybe we're hoping that we get something like that this year. So far, so good, though. We're still above average from that last rain chance. So getting that next rain in the next coming days is going to be great news, too. So that's something we're going to continue to look forward to. But we're going to stay dry through the weekend into Monday. And then looking ahead, you can see how we have a couple of these systems kind of merging together by the time we head toward the end of the week. And this is what's going to increase that rain chance. So likely we're going to see rain moving in as we head into Thursday and also into Friday. So I want to show you really quickly the future cast, and we're showing it looks like we could see possibly over 2 inches once the system is all said and done in some spots. So as we get a little bit closer to next week, we'll know a little bit more on how much and the timing. But for now, enjoy your weekend forecast because it's going to feel a little bit more summer-like. We're talking about low 90s Sunday and Monday for LA and Orange County, low 90s also for the valleys as well, and same thing with the Inland Empire. And then you can see temperatures drop dramatically once that next system arrives. And we're talking about temperatures getting down into the 70s by the time we head into Thursday of next week. All right, Kalyna, back to you.
Amber, thank you. Let's take you outside for a look at the 405. This is in the Sepulveda Pass with our next traffic camera. And you can see it doesn't really matter if I say Friday light. The 405 is always busy. Right now it's a 28-minute ride from Roscoe to Sunset. Then it picks up the rest of your way in the southbound direction. Northbound side of the 405 from the 105 to the 10. That is a 25-minute ride. And that 110 north from the 105 to the 10 is a 24-minute commute. We are crash-free in LA. All the incidents we have are over on the shoulder, so that's great news. Orange County, you are very quiet. I want to give you a live look, though, with our Caltrans camera on the 91 freeway at Surface Club. You can see some traffic building. That commute time will take you about 34 minutes from Tyler to the 241.
We are CBS LA. We are yours.